Hello everyone and welcome back to Desert Sports YouTube channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Monday Night Raw May 11th 2026 edition. So we're going to be reviewing today's show that happened today, and we're just going to be reviewing all of it. So let's start it off. So Raw kicked off with the show opened with Roman arrived in a ute. So Roman arrived in a ute, and then Roman bumps into Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce says to Roman that Jacob doesn't deserve to be here, and Roman asks where his title is, and then Adam Pearce, of course, tells them to get Roman's title, and then Roman gets the title, and then he walks into his own personalized locker room. And then after that is the Vision segment. So basically, the Vision walk out into the ring, and Paul Heyman talks to the crowd, and Paul Heyman talks about Braun Breaker's victory against Seth Rollins at Backlash, la-di-da-di-da. Then he talks about the tag team champions, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and hands the mic to Austin. And then Austin talks about how the Street Profits need the tag team championship. That the Street Profits need a tag team championship, and what's it called? Austin took a shot at Bianca. Bianca saying, the only reason this Ford is here is because he needs because Bianca's not here to pay the bills. And then with that saying, Street Profits then come out, and Ford says that Austin's correct, and says that he is only here because Bianca isn't here to pay the bills. And then basically Logan takes the mic and says that Braun is ready, Austin is ready, and Logan Paul is Henry. And then Joe interrupts and starts singing Can We Fire Logan Paul, which of course pisses off Logan. It plays on for like a minute or so. And then Austin had enough and starts attacking Joe Henry, which starts the match with Street Profits and Joe Henry versus the Vision. Now, the Street Profits and Joe Henry got the win after Seth Rollins interferes with the match, and he helps the Profits and Henry by taking out Braun Breaker, because Braun Breaker was about to do a spear, but then Seth Rollins interferes and takes out Breaker. And then Dawkins then and then after that, after the Street Profits and Joe Henry are able to pin the Vision, Breaker then appears, goes up onto the ring, and then spears Dawson, spears Dawkins, and then Roman takes out, and then Rollins takes out Braun, which ends the segment and the match. So yep. And then the next one was a backstage segment. So it was Liv Morgan asked Adam Pearce what's next for Dominic Mysterio, and of course the original El Grande Americano. They got a bit annoyed about it, and then Adam Pearce sets up a match between the OG El Grande Americano versus Dom Mysterio for the Triple AA title. So basically, Dom had to defend the title today, and then Penta then comes out to the ring, and Penta tells Ethan Page to come out to the ring after last week. Ethan Page wanted an open challenge against Penta, and then Ethan Page says he doesn't want to fight Penta tonight, but at Saturday night's main event against Penta, and Penta says to Ethan's face that he will face him anywhere, anytime. And then with that, Rusev then music interrupts, and Rusev then starts walking down to the ring and says to Page, saying that it does not sit well for Ethan Page getting a title shot instead of him, which sort of Ethan Page then agrees. And then Javon Evans comes out, interrupts as well, and says to Ethan Page that Ethan Page is lying about everything. And with that, Ethan smashes Javon into Rusev, which starts a brawl. And then Adam Pearce then says that Rusev will face Javon, and that it's happening right now. So that with that, there was Javon versus Rusev. Now Javon wins the match after doing an OG cutter to Rusev and pins him up for the win. And then after that match, we move on to a backstage segment, which was Oscar saying goodbye to Io. So it's looking like Oscar might be retiring from the WWE, which we could see, but it looked like it. So it could be a hint that WWE is trying to do. And then the next match was the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, Brie and Paige come out to the ring, and then Brie says the judgment that she wants the Judgment Day to come out here, and then basically with that, the Judgment Day, Raquel and Roxanne Perez come out to the ring, and then they just start talking smack about each other, and then Paige had enough of all the smack talk that she starts attacking, and then it's a brawl between Brie and Paige, and versus and Raquel and Roxanne, basically with that. And then with that, Liv Morgan just interrupts and comes and attacks Paige and Brie to help out her group. So basically, Brie and Paige were left lying on the floor, and then at the middle of the ring was Liv Morgan holding up the championship, and then Raquel and Roxanne holding up the tag team championships that belonged to Brie and Paige. The next thing after that was a Roman Reigns locker room segment, which Roman asks why Jay is not here, and Jimmy says he is waiting for Jacob to come to the arena and stop him from coming out. Roman then responds to Jimmy saying that he's what is he doing? And Roman talks about the agreement that Jacob signed before Backlash, which Roman said to Jimmy, if Jacob doesn't acknowledge him, he is out of the WWE. So it's a bit of pressure there and build up there. And then the next match was Io Sky versus Sol Ruka. Now Io Sky, it was a pretty good match, but Io Sky pinned Sol Ruka by breaking off because Sol Ruka was about to go for a Soul Snatcher, but Io Sky intercepts it and gets the pin. And then outside the arena basically was Jay waiting for Jacob Fatu, and then Jimmy comes out. Jimmy talks to Jay saying about if Jacob shows up, he's not going to acknowledge the tribal chief. So basically the Usos agree that Jacob Fatu is not going to acknowledge the tribal chief tonight. And Jimmy also says to Jay that he's going to come out with Roman and says good luck with Jacob. And then also during that, also WWE confirmed, made it official that Penta will be defending his Intercontinental Championship against Ethan Page at Saturday night's main event, which happens in about 2 weeks' time. And also official for another official match for Saturday night main event is the Raw Tag Team Champions division will be defending their tag team championships against the Street Profits in um at Saturday night's main event. And then the next one was Obafemi's Open Challenge match. So Adam Pearce says that so basically Obafemi storms up to the ring, or like marches to the ring, and then Obafemi's waiting, but then Adam Pearce interrupts and says that the Open Challenge is cancelled because no one is in the locker room. No one wants to fight Oba from the locker room. So so Oba gets mad with that and storms backstage and grabs Los Garza, and the ref and drags those two out. And the ref is then there, and the match happens. It's a 2v1, and Oba destroys both and pins and wins another Open Challenge. And then after that, the camera went back to backstage, where it showed Dom and JD walking out to the ring for Dom's match against El Grande Americano. But during their walk to the ring, Finn attacks JD, which leaves JD on the ground, and then Finn says directly to Dom that don't you got a match to go to? So Dom then leaves. So Dom is now on his own for his match, and he has no help for JD. And then with that was the Dominic Mysterio defending his Triple A Mega Championship against El Grande Americano. Now, Dom retains the Triple A Mega Championship in this match with the help of the Real Americano after the Real Americano attacks the original El Grande Americano. And then we end the show with the Roman and Jacob acknowledgement ceremony. So basically, Roman and Jimmy come out to the ring, and then while Roman's talking, they show on the TV screen of Jacob arriving, and Jay tries to stop him, saying that he should think about this. And Jay also tells Jacob to be smart. Then Jacob has enough and attacks Jay in the back room, and Roman is watching this because Roman is watching from the TV screen. So basically, Roman's watching this all happen, and Jacob is says to the camera he's not going to acknowledge Roman. He then walks out, and Jimmy starts walking to also try and negotiate with Jacob, but then Jacob starts starts heading Jimmy, which then Jacob then goes to the ring, and then a brawl starts between Roman and Jacob. Now this brawl was insane. Like a lot happened in this brawl as like there was so much that happened. Like Roman, like there was a brawl, and then Roman gets a chair outside the ring and starts hammering Jacob and shouting to Jacob to acknowledge him, and that if you don't, you're out of here. And then Roman was prepared to line up the spear, but as Roman was about to go for the spear, Jacob gives him a high kick, haluva kick, basically, and then what's it called Jacob Fatu does the tongue grip to Roman Rage, and then Jacob drives Roman into the barricade. Well, rolls Jacob, yeah, into the barricade. And then it just starts, everything just starts boiling between these two. Like Jacob power bombed Roman into the table, and then Adam Pearce and the security team come out and they try to get Jacob off Roman. And then with that, Fatu goes inside the ring, and Fatu picks up the championship and starts licking it and then drops it. And then Jacob starts walking out of the ring, but Jacob just goes more insane and comes back and does one final beating by ramming Roman and the Usos through the barricade to end Monday Night Raw. So what an end to Monday Night Raw. Like Jacob absolutely destroyed Roman Reigns to end Monday Night Raw. But I mean, this Monday Night Raw, it wasn't that bad. Like I mean, the ending segment, the one with Roman and Jacob, sort of ended like last Monday Night Raw, I swear. But yeah, but yeah, a lot happened in this one, so it was pretty good. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens in the next Raw. But I'll give this Raw. It was not a bad Raw. It was like an average Raw, like most of the other Raws, but it wasn't that bad. But yeah, it was average, I'd say. It could have been a little bit better, but yep. Anyway, guys, thanks everyone so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, subscribe for more content for WWE content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.